What is going on, everybody? Today was a pretty big day in gaming news, because today was the day that Nintendo finally unveiled their Nintendo NX device. And it's not called the Nintendo NX, it's actually going to be called the Nintendo Switch, and it's going to be a home console slash handheld. So I guess those rumors are true. Now, everybody is going nuts over the Nintendo Switch. Now, as much as I would love to be going nuts with everybody else, there's just lots of things that prevent me from doing so, and I will explain them to you in this video. Now, for starters, the Nintendo Switch name. I don't particularly care for the name at all. To me, the name is generic and uninteresting. Now, granted, I understand why they gave it that name, and the name actually fits for what they want this device to be. But the name just doesn't grab my attention. Now, if any remember back in the day before the original Wii came out, it was actually going to be called the Nintendo Revolution. I remember seeing that in a gaming magazine, and I remember thinking, man, that is so freaking awesome. That name is cool. That name immediately grabbed my attention before I knew anything about that console. Honestly, I think that name would have been good for this device, because Nintendo clearly wants to, in their mind, revolutionize what they see console gaming to be. Even though this has technically already been done before from other devices, Nintendo sees that as being revolutionary. So I think it would have been cool if they actually called this the Revolution, and I think it still would have made sense. But that is the least of my worries with this device. Now, since this device is going to be mostly a portable device, because that is what Nintendo is selling this as you can tell from their reveal trailer, they want you to take this everywhere you go. To the park, on an airplane, to the mall, to basketball courts. Just they want you to take it everywhere. And they revealed to IGN that the actual main unit for this device is the actual LCD screen that you take with you. That is the actual device itself. The other part is just the dock for that device. So guess what that means? That means if something were to happen to it while you're taking it out on the go, wherever you are, you're essentially screwed. Because that is literally the entire device. It's not just a part of the device. It's not like if you were to, say, break the Wii U tablet, you still have the Wii U console to play with. Which reminds me, Nintendo actually doesn't sell the Wii U tablet by itself, which I still don't understand why they don't do that. But the point is that you still at least have that console to play. If this Nintendo Switch just happens to be destroyed somehow, that's it. You're screwed. Now, with that being said, other handheld devices like the PS Vita, the 3DS, all of those actually have cases that other companies sell. Like, I have a hard shell case for my 3DS. So if I were to drop that, more often than not, it would be fine and would survive. So are they actually going to sell cases for the Nintendo Switch? I sure hope so, because electronic devices today aren't the toughest. I mean, you look at smartphones today, if you just drop it once and it doesn't have any protective case, it's done. The screen will just shatter. I can't tell you how many people I see with iPhones with shattered screens. And that reminds me of the running joke of way back in the day, in the early 2000s, when we had those Nokia cordless phones. You could throw that thing in a brick wall and it would be fine. You can't do that with electronic devices today. And the Nintendo Switch is an electronic device of today. So, are they going to sell protection for it? I mean, I would hope so if the main selling point for this thing is portable gameplay. So there's that. Also, the little tiny controllers that pop out of the sides, they're called Joy-Cons, which I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So maybe someone can explain it to me what that means, but they're called Joy-Cons. Those things are very, very tiny. What if you were to lose one? What if you were to step on one by accident? Are they replaceable? I mean, I don't know. I would hope they are. There's just so many things here that I could see going wrong for this device. That it just, I can't ignore it. And I see a lot of people ignoring this stuff. And the biggest worry I have with the Nintendo Switch is the battery life. How strong is the battery going to be in this device? Is the battery going to be strong enough that where you can maybe get 10-15 hours of gameplay before it starts to die? Is there going to be a way to charge it without the dock? It's just stuff like that I need to know, because stuff like that is important. Now, granted, this was just the reveal of the device. Nintendo can probably do an event months from now and give more details about this device, and I perfectly understand that. But the point I'm trying to make here is that stuff like this is why I can't get excited about it right now, like a lot of other people are. So let's get into some other things. When you're watching the reveal trailer, you notice something that's interesting. You notice that some of the gameplay that is being shown is from non-Nintendo games. Like they showed Skyrim, the remastered version of Skyrim that comes out soon. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, is the new Skyrim actually going to be on a Nintendo device? And then I immediately start to think, is Nintendo actually going to get some third-party support for this thing? And see, this is why I'm glad I waited later on tonight to do this video. Because Bethesda then came out and said that no, Skyrim Remaster is not going to be on the Nintendo Switch. They just collaborated with Nintendo just to do this trailer, and they just took gameplay and just stuck it into the trailer. The game is actually not coming to the Nintendo Switch. This was just an indication of, quote, future support, unquote. And also later on, Nintendo gave a list of developers that said that they were pretty much on board with the Nintendo Switch. You know, that brought back some memories for me, because this exact same thing happened with the Wii U. When the Wii U was first revealed, Nintendo said it was going to have big-time third-party support, and they even actually put a listing of different developers on the screen and said that these developers were on board with the Wii U. And what happened? That support never came. Now, maybe it was going to happen, and then maybe a lot of these developers decide to jump ship once the Wii U wasn't selling well, but at the end of the day, it never happened. And giving Nintendo's track record with third parties, I need to see this to believe it. Because as of right now, I do not see this happening. I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope I'm proven wrong. But I honestly can't sit here and imagine a lot of these big-time AAA developers are going to want to actually sit down and make games for a gimmicky device like the Nintendo Switch. And that's what it is. It may not be as gimmicky as what Nintendo did with the Wii and the Wii U, and it's probably closer to a normal gaming console that we'll ever see from Nintendo. It's still a gimmicky console that will probably have limitations compared to what Sony and Microsoft and the PC offers. Are developers actually going to sit down and want to work with this device and make their games for this device? Now, maybe they might make some exclusive games for it, but I just can't see many multiplats happening on this device, because imagine this, they develop a game and that the game is on disc for all the other systems, but now they gotta fit that game into a tiny little SD cartridge. I don't know if it's an SD card or if it's a different type of cartridge, but that's what this Nintendo Switch is going to use. Can they fit their game onto that little thing? To me, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that these big games that look as good as they do can fit on that little cartridge. I just don't see it happening. Now, once again, maybe I'm wrong. And I would like to be proven wrong, but I just can't see it happening. I just can't. And that's literally just the entire point I want to make. There's just too many questions I have for this device that I just can't get excited for it. And there's just too many worries that I have. The major one being the fact that since it's mostly supposed to be a portable device, is it going to be strong enough to handle all the hazards in the world? And does Nintendo actually have some type of protection for that? Because they need to do that if they want people to buy this thing. And that reminds me, I just remembered this, the price. That's another big thing. This thing needs to be affordable. It needs to be affordable. It can't be more than $300. Actually, I would see this thing being $250. I think that would be a good price for this. But honestly, knowing Nintendo and knowing how much Nintendo loves their money, I mean, if you look at the Wii U is still above $250 in a lot of places, which is insane. It's freaking insane. It's still expensive. A part of me has this gut feeling that Nintendo is going to put this above $300. And I can't see people buying it for over $300. And not only that, it needs to have a strong game lineup, because as of right now, we only really know that the new Zelda is coming for the Nintendo Switch. Because a lot of the games they showed on that reveal commercial was old games. Like, it showed Mario Kart that came out 2 years ago, and it showed Splatoon that came out a year ago. It showed Skyrim that's not really coming, and then it showed an NBA game, which it could be an older one, or maybe it could be an upcoming one. All the sports games are the same to me. But the point is that it needs to be priced right, and it needs to have a strong lineup. And honestly, I have very little faith in that, given Nintendo's track record. Alright, I think that about sums it up. Please let me know what you think about the Nintendo Switch, and please let me know what you think about this video. Alright, until next time, you all have a good one.